Hello. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Or evening here.
Yeah. Sharon. Candle.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Little. It's low. How's my sound today?
It's good.
Yeah,
So,
no, all good here.
Okay.
so to improve my sound, where would I go for that?
In your audio settings. So you go to settings and then audio.
Settings on this page?
No, on your computer.
No, there's a little arrow. There's a little arrow next to the audio.
Okay.
And I think that's where it tells you. Yep.
Huh.
Good morning, beautifuls.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, yes. No, good
Yeah.
evening. It's 11
Yeah,
o'clock.
good
Good
evening.
good morning, good all of the above.
Yeah. Good
Must
day.
be late for you, Carol.
I came out of the caravan and went to click the car open because I'm in the car and pressed the alarm. So at
Oh,
11 o'clock at night in a caravan park, the car alarm went off.
oh no.
They take ages to turn off, don't they?
No, it only went twice and I found the thing because it was in the dark. So yeah. Names.
Well, I know Carol Daniels is going to be a little late, but we're still waiting on Sharon also. And
Carol
Carol.
Daniels is here.
oh, not Carol. Oh, sorry, Carol Schaefer. Yeah, Carol Daniels is here. I see you. Yeah,
Is Waveney going to make it?
I have not heard.
Yeah, because it'll be about 1 o'clock for her in the morning, I'm thinking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not then. It is hard to get everybody together in time, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a joy to being all over the world.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
Well,
thing we can do that, right?
It is. It's so wonderful that we
Yeah.
can in our consciousness really holds it globally, and it's not just our ideas. It's really truly happening. Well,
When I was about 5, that's my first memory of thinking there was something more to the world, was at 5 saying to my dad, won't it be wonderful when we can talk to people in Japan and see them?
well, I feel like we're practicing here for the internet that we have this technology within us. We have this ability to see each other and join together and outside of time and space and communicate clearly. I know we have that ability. And one day we'll be able to do that. And then but before we can do that, nobody can hide anything. If you're hiding something, it's just pretend hiding. And when you're in those spaces, it's seen clearly and fully. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, how long shall we wait? Suzanne, shall we keep waiting or shall we go ahead and...
Let's begin.
Okay. Would you like to open us? my love.
Oh, well, what an honor. On this sacred day where we who hear the song of the universe have chosen to show up and to sustain an optimism. I've felt the metaphor of the dandelion that has come to full blossom and now seeded, and we've gone. And my dear teacher Angela would say that's the original blessings of the waters and life. Oh, shua. Oh, shua. So may we love that we've done the flying leap and that we're being held by the winged ones and total grace. And so here we are today. What a joyful thing to be doing, eh?
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I want to start with the post that I made. It's been quite challenging for some people. I put the little flower children. It brought me such joy to see this little video of the littles and dressed in flower costumes, and it's AI. And there's been a lot of backlash, and how dare I put that on there? And I commented this morning when I saw that, because it was when I awoke. That was the first thing I saw. So I just commented about how, the Flower Fairies series from the early 1900s was so precious to me. I loved that. I love thinking of the spirits in the flowers, and I know you do too, Suzanne, and that those baby faces in the flower costumes just really brought me joy, and I wanted to share my joy. And to have, people using the words demon and how and address our concerns, Mayana, and da 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 da. And I just said, if there's something you see that you don't like here, just scroll on past and don't comment. Only comment with loving, supportive things. I'm not deleting my post. And this is, wisdom that's how wisdom would respond. Would just, oh, something in me doesn't like that. Okay, scroll past it. Because we have a lot of different perspectives in here. And what brought me joy brought someone else pain. And I don't think that just because it was created with AI, it's invaluable. It takes an artist's words to create something like that. I mean, that is not an easy thing to generate, that kind of. So I don't think AI is a demon. I think it's the humans that have the potential to use it that way. But I don't think this was that. So I'm glad to hear your responses if you disagree with that.
I thought it was very cute.
I missed it all. I don't even know what that was about.
Yeah, I
But
didn't see it either.
Me
a
too,
bit,
Susan.
but my efforts to get the aspect of holy women reclaiming the feminine faces of God. What I hear right now is ignorance. That the elementals and the spirit is a basis of so many indigenous people around the world. So that was ignorance. And my teaching says that the medicine for the West is the dancing bear, and she stomps on fear, ignorance, and greed. So
we have a group. Oh, go ahead, Beverly.
I was just going to say the other aspect of all of that is that we live in a world right now, unfortunately, where people find anything to be offended about. And so you kind of have to take some of the offense as a grain of salt, just like you said, scroll by, but they don't because they want to be seen. And that's the key. They want to be seen. And if the only way they can be seen is to complain, then they're going to complain. You know, and so you, in my opinion, I haven't seen the post. My morning's been crazy, but you handled it the way I would have handled it. Well, if you don't like it, don't look at it. I mean, that's, you know, and that goes with a lot of things, but I think if we come from the perspective that we live in that world right now, because there's such a division all the way across. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not just the US, it's everywhere. And on top of that, people want to be seen, they want to be heard. And so even if it's a negative, it's like I have a 4-year-old granddaughter and a 2-year-old granddaughter that I'm helping raise. It doesn't matter if they're getting in trouble as long as they're getting attention. You know, and sometimes even as adults, we have never gotten past that. We just want the attention. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So as an administrator, if I came upon that comment of assault towards you, I would block and remove that person from our Facebook page because of our rule of sustainable, kind language. Is that an agreement? Is that what others would do?
I don't know that I would block them. I would take an opportunity to remove the comment and educate them.
So remove and educate.
Yeah. Yeah. I would do that. Rather than blocking someone who has acted out of ignorance, we want them there to learn. We want them there to grow and to be able to hear the teachings.
But so I believe that we've got to put a mark on their profile page. They've had one moderation. And if a second time it turns up, then we block them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah.
I
Well,
agree
and
with that.
I think I'm not sure because I've never had to deal with that, but I think that when you go look at the profile, it shows at the bottom, when you click on their name, it shows at the bottom what their activity is and whether or not they've had any moderating offenses.
Yes.
So you don't even have to try and keep track of it. You just go look, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with that. You know, warning, and then no, we don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
And somehow this also relates to the conversation we were having about the Gaza posts.
Mhm.
You know, it's really the same kind of thing, even on the other spectrum. This is happening in our world. It's real, and people care, and they want this to be seen. And I don't feel like we should restrict that from, as long as it's, hey, here's the loving, here's we need to put our attention on this. You know, we don't want I'm gonna I feel like we good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Carol.
Sorry.
But often what I've been seeing is that they're asking for donations. Our
Well,
children.
that's not what we should do.
Oh, no.
But so I actually have listened and to some of these. So what I'm hearing right now, if they're making appeals sent to the abused women in that
That's a promotion.
that's a
Right.
promotion and so okay.
Yeah.
If I think that my own view is if they're bringing light to what's going on and they have something to say about it, as long as they're not attacking other people that disagree with their view, it would be okay. But when they get to the point where they're, it's such an emotional issue. It truly, I mean, you've got people on both sides that are just crazy in the head over what's going on. And there's a lot of very closed minds. You know, it's my way or no way, and they don't want to hear both sides, you know, and so as long as they're posting information about what's going on. Like I said the other day, when we were talking about this, that night before, they had literally bombed a school. And then
Right.
this morning they said that over 100 people died in that school. So that's information, that's news, that's something that's happening in our world. And regardless of whose side you're taking, prayers, energy, love needs to be directed there. But if you're going to post it and then argue over who's right and who's wrong and attack somebody, then I think that the comments that if that happens are what we're going to have to watch out for. And like you said, as long as they're not asking for donations for something, which probably eliminates over half of them, because I'm sure most of those videos are trying to get money for whatever, but
Yeah.
at the same
What
time,
about the posts in a foreign language? I
well,
can't
does it
read
have
them.
subtitles? No,
And
well,
then
see, we're a
there's
global
usually
thing.
a button for translating.
Yeah,
Where is that button?
Oh,
It's
it's usually quite
not a
obvious.
button. As such.
yeah, it
It,
usually
it
says see
not usually a
translation.
button. Underneath the text, it says view a
Translate.
translation. Yeah.
Mm.
If
Sometimes it
it's a
doesn't.
video and it's spoken in another language, it may
Okay.
not have the closed captioning in English.
Right.
Mm.
And we are global, so this is a challenge that we would need someone of that language to know whether it includes that or not. If there's text, Google, there's a little word, translate this, below the text that you can click on.
Right, because we definitely don't want anything that's calling for a jihad or some weird thing
Right.
that we don't know because we don't know the language. But on the other side, we also don't want to discriminate because it's not our language.
Right.
Mm.
And one thing, we can turn comments off on posts and we can
Yeah.
stop the commenting.
Yes.
And it's so important to be able to hold that these are humans on both sides. And from what my knowledge is that fundamentalism as a whole, no matter which perspective it carries, is a mental virus. It's been identified as a mind virus. It's a virus in the brain that causes people to think that way. And we are the technology that can counter that frequency, because our intentions can send out, when we see those things, we can look at their name and just send them that cancellation frequency. And that might help the whole situation just by being a moderator and looking at it and feeling, oh, this is that. Cancel that. Treat them with love. Cancel that frequency. Cancel that comment. But it's our thoughts and intentions as we do that that really matter. Yeah, Carol, you're muted.
I think it's important that also that we not discriminate. And I've come across a couple of those comments and I'm really taken aback by them. And so, that's the challenge for us, I think, is that being open to the possibilities of different kinds of thinking and different kinds of sharing, as long as it's loving.
Right.
So when it becomes conflict, that's a whole other issue. But also those videos or people who speak in foreign tongue, perhaps we need to say, is anyone able to translate that to English? If not, it gets deleted, kind of thing.
Oh.
Would that be reasonable?
Well, I don't know. Are we an English only group as a Global Grandmothers Council?
I don't think so. I think that would be discriminatory too,
Sharon?
even though English is taught almost all around the world, but it doesn't mean that should we require it? Who knows?
Right.
As administrators, how can we determine if what is spoken is appropriate, meets our standards in any way, if we as administrators and moderators cannot understand the language. So it's not about, are we an English only speaking group? We're talking with a group here that are the administrators, that are the moderators. We are the ones who have the assignment, if you will, to say this meets our standard, this doesn't. And if we don't have a way to understand it, then the ones who's posting, or we need to figure out how to know that. And yes, we do have to be able to have a language translator for us.
So
Yeah.
if it doesn't have an option or a way to translate it in some form or fashion so that we know what it's saying, then we should delete it. That's, and we can explain
I
to a
like
person, that we
Yeah,
don't have any way of knowing what it's saying, and if you would like to translate it for us, then great.
That's
And if
right.
not, then-
Yeah,
that
because
sounds good, Bev. Yeah,
put it back on the poster,
right.
just like those who post promotions, etc. Put the, we put the burden back on them to say, submit it appropriately so that we can determine. So we give them information, but it's on them to give us the information in English so it can be translated in some fashion. And
Mhm.
like we do with those who are promoting things that
Right.
we might agree with, but it's still coming in the wrong way. They have to come through the
But-
administrators.
But Sharon, how, if we can't communicate with them, how do we do that? If they can't understand English at all,
Well,
and we can understand them, I think that's,
then I think we still can do the same thing. They're speaking in their language and we're saying back to them in the language. We have to have this translated so that we can determine if it fits our standards. And if they can't, but it gets deleted, but we give them information.
yeah, I
Right.
see.
It's-
Mhm.
If we type that out, they would then be able to push the translate, so they could translate it into their language.
Well, and
Mhm.
if you're trying to communicate with somebody, if you know what their language is, you can go to Google and type in what you're trying to say to them, and it will translate it for you, and then you just copy paste and put it in there. It may not be syntactically right, but they'll get the gist. I've done that with people that only speak Spanish, and I don't know how to speak Spanish. And then I had a friend in France, and she spoke more French than she did English. So I would type what I was trying to say to her in an email and then copy and paste my email in French.
Yeah, that's a good
and-
idea.
So, I mean, we have options to do it. It's all in how much time do we spend on a single post trying to determine whether or not it should be there or not. That takes a lot of time and energy too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So-
Right.
On that note, a month or so ago, when we invited or accepted people into the site, we asked for their name and their locality. And I think that we should go back and say, as a means, when you post, say, I'm Suzanne from Boise, Idaho, uh, that we need to know their locality, but importantly, their name. So many people are just, hi, I wanted to share my photo of you.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and I've been going back to those posts and saying, hey, where are you from? And about
Oh.
90% of the time they are coming back and saying where they are.
And
And
then
it's,
and
Yeah,
then
and-
there are the security people who are in there who will say, don't tell anyone where you're from. because
yeah, but
because
generality, not
because your ID can be stolen.
right.
And
Well,
I
we
mean,
could just ask what
if you
state they're
say,
in.
yeah,
you know.
like I say, I'm from North Carolina, that's not going to give too much information for anyone. And yet it gives us an idea of the general region that they live in, which I think would be helpful. There are several from Australia from the same region, and I ended up connecting them, so that was productive. But that's all what I was thinking. I mean, if we're not going to give our addresses online, obviously, or anything like that, but yeah.
All a person has to do is click on a name of any of our members, and they can go right to their profile.
But then there's people like me
Mhm.
I still show that they live in Twin Peaks, California, when I'm actually in Youngstown, Ohio. I just never
Right.
changed it because in my heart, my home is in Twin Peaks, California. You know, and it's like I hate being in Ohio, so I ain't putting that I live here.
I don't blame you, Bev.
And there's quite a few that have their profiles locked as well, because I've gone
Yeah,
into
mine,
quite a
yeah,
few of them.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
mine's, you
Yeah.
can't see mine.
Yeah. I
But
went
mean,
through that whole
I think
cycle.
if we just know what country they're in, we're okay. I mean, they don't have to tell us what state, you know, because if they're in Brazil, obviously we're looking at Spanish and we're looking at a
No,
different,
Brazil is Portuguese, by the way, but
or whatever. You know
yeah.
what I mean? It's
I
one of
do,
those things
yeah.
where the languages are different in different countries. And yeah, we have we have the melting pot here in the US, but if they're living in the US, they should at least have some semblance of English. So if they're post with them, you know.
Right.
Can I
And
just,
the Western European countries all know English,
Right.
unless they're very provincial, but they do. So
Carol
that
Daniels.
yeah, can I just ask, because if you just ask, like if you ask each person where they're from, that disappears in the feed. It doesn't show up anywhere, so we know anyway.
Especially if
Right.
there's a lot of comments.
Mhm.
yeah,
Mm.
it does. But the scammers look for those things if it's very specific anyway. So, I've been through that whole cycle because I didn't know what to do with those people that, were from far regions and speaking part English, part everything else. So there are times when I just wrote back to them and said, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Could you help me? And then they'll come back in full English. So, it's really going to be almost like a case by case basis, I think.
Individual one, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the group is really crying out for more guidance. And I'm glad you're doing a couple more visionings, Sharon. I think that's going to give people an opportunity to come together again. and
I'm not doing vision. No, I'm not. I haven't scheduled visionings.
Values.
No, not for that purpose. I'm scheduling a specific team to come together, just in that team to get statements. This is our vision, this is our value, this is our purpose.
Oh,
Statements. No, what you're wanting is not what I'm doing. I'm bringing
okay.
that into completion, so it's a statement. But what you're and we still need that next Zoom. That's what do you what do they happen here, and what do they want to do to participate, or whatever we're doing. Those they do want that kind of meeting, and the more they have it, the more they want it, and I like that. And we still haven't got an organizational team in place. Do you have your transition team? Is it?
I do.
Perfect.
Yes, I have and we have weekly meetings, and I'm meeting with One Divine today, and then on Wednesdays we're meeting with the transition team, and they also want to join your values team. They're very capable, open, willing women.
I think two already connected with me.
Good.
So I'm setting a time next week because this week is out. But yes, I guess the point is we need to start looking for names for women team capable, that we would say, would you be a team leader over XYZ? Oh, you're doing.
I have like 10 pages in 3 different sets of people's information that I've gone through, and I've marked who's interested in leading online, and I'm going to send out a call. And I was thinking about scheduling daily Zooms and just have different people lead them. Have a team, can bring a team together, and then every day one person leads the Zoom and give people an opportunity just to come in and meet each other. And you can have a subject matter if you want, like let's talk about peace, or let's talk about an emotion, but just to have a place for people to gather.
I know Gather the Women uses that model, that they did local circles totally in local circles until COVID, and then they needed to keep having that option, so they do that, and it's called, I think, Circle of Stones, and so they meet every day, and then periodically there's a different type under a different name for that meet, and then but the ones who lead it would be really important, I think, for the ones who are hosting the circle to kind of note what's going on, what they're hearing, to bring back to the core group, so that then that core group can say, okay, we need to modify, we need to add, we need to, that'll be critical information for
Yeah,
what.
it has to be a team that's doing it, not just
Okay.
anybody. Yeah. Yes, Suzanne?
Okay, so Suzanne here representing Facebook GGCN. Mayana, I heard you say they're crying out for guidance. I have a confusion here because what I'm hearing is we have all these thousands of people that have come in just so recently. They lack the background of what is the Facebook page and what is a potential website that's being formed. So I hear the guidance here. There's my fierce dog. He's protecting us.
Guidance.
That's right.
There it is.
Is about the website. I suggest that as of today, we, representing the Facebook, have a mission statement. What are we? And how we have advocacies and arts and books and classes and cultures, and bringing the grandmother wisdom forth. Then in a graphic, show how of those on the Facebook, they're getting the premier option to create this phenomenal advocacy for women and grandmothers on the website, crying out for guidance. What is the guidance for you on Facebook that are just like the lights are going off with creativity and excitement, and what guidance can we offer them? And then give a timeline. I was talking with Alicia yesterday, and she said, you got to get really clear. What is the Facebook place? What is the website place? And what I've been experiencing is that we tried to make bread before we let it rise, and alchemically be ready to be in this phenomenal place. Did I make myself clear?
Yeah.
Do we have books that have been written by Suzanne? Have you written books? Can we add? Honestly, I don't know who's who. So I'm very new. I joined the group and I have no clue. So I'm one of those people that's looking for the guidance. So can we add a tab that has the books that the grandmothers have written? Can we add anything like that, or any information so that people have a place to search and find and go from there? Or can we do a daily post that offers something that can help people find what they're looking for?
Sharon?
I think we need to put together a team and not take that on for ourselves. But because this is what I would suggest. I think it's a great idea to have a specific short statement of the mission for the Facebook page and the mission for the website. I've been saying that over and over again in many posts and many comments, but it rolls. So I think it's really a good idea that we have a specific mission statement for now, for this is Facebook and this is website. there, you can't make a tab that says books by or whatever. The tabs are set in Facebook as to the names they're called. So in one of the groups that I've kind of coalesced, and I'm learning a lot from working with grandmothers how I want to restructure mine. So under one of the tabs that's called guidelines, I think, or guides, there's guides and there's features and there's
And there's
events.
files.
There's
Yeah, files.
Yeah, those three things. I didn't like files because it's PDF. You know, so I'm using guides, and under the guides, one of the things I did is this guide gives the rules and set regulations, so that's in place. But then what I did is I created a little short video that I put the link on my welcome to the site to new members, as well as posted it. The new members get the link to the rules and regulations, and the link to the the things that I want them to see. But the video then shows them, here's the tabs, here's what's under it, here's kind of how to manage the Facebook page. And daily posts, or however we do it, is really, really important. I think we need a team, and I think our circle, that team is called media right now, isn't it, Mayanna?
Yeah. Yes.
I think we
And it's an excellent video. It was, I watched it. It was really helpful.
I'm
Well,
trying
so-
to make it short, 2 minutes, but we need a team to do it. I don't think this is something we take on. That's really, we're going to wipe ourselves out. When we see something, I think then we need to get that team in place. And yeah, you're right. I would say that people are wanting to eat the bread, and we're just trying to get the ingredients together.
Right.
Right.
So can we put a PDF file that has a list of resources for people that are like the books that have been written by the grandmothers and that type of thing under the files, so that people can find that, and then they have something that they can print out and it's right there. It doesn't have, they don't have to click a link, or they don't, you know what I mean? They can download that PDF and they've got the list of all the books that Suzanne's written, or whatever resources you want to direct them to, so that people have access to it. And then with the daily posts, it just bolsters that even more, because people will go and buy those books and read those books. And as they're reading them, you're posting, or whatever team is posting information on a daily basis that's reinforcing what they're already learning. And then they can ask questions that way.
Karen.
I could show you the difference between the file and the guides, if you'd like.
Well, regardless of where you put it, I'm just saying, if they have access to the information, it makes it so much easier, because then they know what they're looking for, versus like I knew from just listening that Suzanne was one of the grandmothers. I had no idea she had books, and so it's one of those things. Maybe we do an introduction of who the grandmothers are and what what they've done, what their books are, or whatever resources they have, so that the people that are coming in, everybody knows. Okay, let me go back a second. Everybody knows that there's 13 Indigenous grandmothers that have been making a huge difference in the world. I've seen it for years. So I know in general what this is. However, I don't know who each individual one is and what they are doing, or how I can follow their information, or what information is even out there that they've put out. So if
Beverly,
yes,
Beverly,
Yeah.
I think that a beautiful idea, and it's exactly what the website is going to provide.
okay.
Right now, as the main person who's been contributing, what you're talking about is a lot of effort, and it's not the time for us to do that. But dreams and aspirations of what's going to bridge from the Facebook to the website. One, a university style teachers and guides and grandmothers, and publishing books and poetry, and a marketplace. And yes, we grandmothers want to introduce ourselves, but in a safe manner. So I think that we've got to star our dreams and hopes. Oh, wow, look what is coming. It's just, we love having similar ideals being commonly dreamt.
And,
Right.
go ahead, Sharon. I think you're going to talk about what I was going to say. So go
I
ahead.
just want to put forth a proposal that there is a media arm that needs to be put in place as it relates to Facebook, the website. But Facebook is rich with possibilities, totally safe. It's totally safe in what you're talking about doing. And so I really would propose that we start to coalesce and get a group of women who are tech savvy or interested in media, letting people know and get that going. Not us, but someone else. I think it's time.
I'll find that group from the list, and I'll invite specific people to that team, as I'm doing with the transition team and the other teams. I'm the Zoom team, those kind of things. So I will do that. I want to just make sure that we comment here that we are not the 13 Indigenous grandmothers,
Okay.
that we, while we love and value and support them, that we are, as they have called for grandmother councils everywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, see, and so that's probably a set of confusion for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe we need to clarify that. But maybe
Yeah.
instead of giving everything, since we're putting so much on the website, we can give nuggets, so that it's whetting their appetite to go to the website when the website's done in October 10th, right? Is when you launch.
Right.
That's
That's
date
our
targeted.
intention. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It was-
so
Sharon?
in between, they get to know a little bit about a little
Yes.
bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I want to just point out it was Suzanne and Suzanne under the encouragement of Brooke Medicine Eagle, and Suzanne and I came together talking about the great need for grandmothers to come together. There was 13th grandmother was not exclusive at all. It was like grandmothers come together. We came together for grandmothers to come together to begin bringing what they had experienced, what they knew, what they loved, to change the world. So this is a grandmother group. It's a female group, all ages really, because it's about sharing our wisdom, and that's what it was founded on when we began the group. So just to be really clear.
And I have been amazed in my conversations with people over the last 2 months at how many people have never heard of the 13 Indigenous grandmothers.
really? And
Yeah.
I've got so many people that they talk about them all the time. And so
Yeah.
that's why I
Yeah,
said,
and there's a
and-
whole part of the
forever.
world that they don't. Yeah.
And
So
in-
our team here is our team is to moderate and administer. I see that the content, the media team that we need to pull together to make those daily posts, scheduled posts, regular information for the group from the core, that's what we're looking for next, that we don't have the bandwidth for that. And I've been thinking about, we need to have a post every day, but I can't do that.
I do it, but I've been an editor of a paper for 24 years, so I regularly feed a lot. And one of the things I want to share historically, in the 2000, I met with my first grandmothers up in northern Montana in the 1997, and I met with the Shoshone grandmothers in 1980s. And there was a lot of hassle. People had their hair up on end when the grandmothers started their meeting, and other grandmothers are going, including Sharon and others, hey, we've been doing it all. And the 13 original grandmothers have a pact that they're sisterhood for eternity. And they, it's like the dandelion. they're great, but there are so many other grandmothers that deserve honoring too.
Oh, well, absolutely. And I didn't mean to take away from anything that's going on here. I'm just saying that everybody's heard so many different things, and the whole subject is they're searching and they're grasping for any information. And so I think that would be
Right.
important to introduce and I- you know, clarify so that people know that this is a joint effort. It's not just this, you know what I mean?
We have
Because
been doing that. We have been doing it.
you have, but like Sharon was saying, everything rolls by so fast that you don't always catch everything. So maybe something needs to be pinned somewhere so that I know you have your mission and I know you have what we do, but at the same time, the it's
The challenge we have with the featured tab and the pinning
is
is
that it doesn't
only
show up
two
anymore.
things are showing at a time.
Yeah, it
And so
doesn't show up anymore.
anytime someone gets something pinned, if you don't click on featured, you don't see them.
Yeah, and if you
That
don't keep
used to
it
be able to do that.
right, and now you have to go in it and you have to remove the old stuff and put the new
Right.
stuff in. Yeah, I have a group that I do for my business and it's a pain. They changed it and it's almost like you because before as soon as you came into the group, you would see all the featured stuff across the top. Now you have to go search for it.
Right.
And if you don't keep it cleaned up, if you don't take the old stuff down and put the new stuff up and then pick which one you want first, second, third, it turns into a big cluster and
Right.
it's a nightmare. And so
Yeah, and
finding
it
stuff
used to be that the featured things would be the first posts you see when you come to the group.
yeah,
And now you don't even see
you
them.
have
You
to go
just see a
search for it.
little highlight for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can click here if you want to see this. Well, okay, I've got 5 minutes and I'm just scrolling through to see what's going on. You know what I mean? Type attitude. So
Suzanne?
And Mayana, I was talking with Alicia yesterday, and to get the focus about fundraising.
Mhm.
You know, I have had I've been really looking at, you know, yes, the majority of grandmothers don't have very much money, and what does it take to fundraise? And Alicia just reiterated, if we get our value, you know, Facebook page transition to website, uh, what we are aspiring to, making it so clear that she felt that that would help in the fundraising. And then the next thing she said is that if we did an email to those on the list and with our value statement and the timing, because what I understand is that within a couple weeks, I don't know where the money is at right now, but
We have just under $3,000 as of today.
so we needed 3,000 by the end of August. Is that
Yeah,
it?
end of September, we need another 3,000. Yeah.
So is it okay if we talk about this? The fundraising money.
That and we need a team for that. We need a team that
Yes.
will do that. So
Okay.
I'll put out a call for the different teams and I'll schedule some meetings for different teams. And that's where I'll put my attention. And I know, Sharon, you've asked me to do an application form, and I have not had the opportunity to complete that task yet.
Let's work on that together then, Mayan. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, we do want do want them to be able to say we'd like this job and this is why.
right,
know.
right. Here's the different opportunities that we have and who wants to join which team. And it would be so easy for one person to write a check because some grandmothers do have money. And it would be so easy for someone to write one check and cover this cost. And, so it's just a matter of finding and creating that flow.
you have a GoFundMe, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw that in our chat because I haven't seen it in the group. I saw somebody say if
Really?
everybody donated $5, then that would take care of it, but there was no link to the GoFundMe. So what if every day you can schedule the post, right?
Uh-huh.
So what if every day at 12 o'clock, whatever time you're at, wherever you're at, that post to the GoFundMe link with an explanation of what they're funding gets reiterated if you just put it on a schedule for every single day.
That's a great idea. I'll do that. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that'll make a difference, even if it's only $5 a person, like they said, that would get
Yeah.
us, you know, if you put the goal, if you put what the goal is and what the goal is going towards.
And the day and the date,
Yes,
the
yes.
dates.
Yeah, that it has to be there. A lot of times when there's a deadline, people get a little bit more, they'll give more, you know,
Right.
but I personally have not seen a post in the group other than one person saying if everybody donated $5, but there was no link to the GoFundMe. And I'm like, okay, well, how am I supposed to
And-
donate if I don't know where
And
it's at?
we've pinned it and we've posted it and we
Oh.
pin it and we share it
But
and
that
we
goes back, but with the pinning, that goes back to it gets lost when you pin something new.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
right.
If it's not right in their front, and so you've got people that come in and they go out and they come in and they go out. So if you have it every day at the same time, you schedule it every day at the same time, you might catch different people coming in that might be willing to donate a little bit here or a little bit there.
Yeah. Carol Schaefer, you wanted to, you're muted. Yeah.
I wanted to speak to somebody brand new coming in from that perspective, because I brought a friend of mine into the group and she said it was overwhelming. And the reason was she was looking for the rules, because I said, look for the rules. It was hard for her to find it because it was buried. So one of the things, if we had the ability to pin, I think it would be good to do that right at the beginning again. I shared it again because of her. But also, she had a lot of confusion, as Beverly was addressing, and a few of you, Suzanne, too, that she said, what is this all about? I don't know what the purpose of this is. What am I supposed to be doing? And I mean, I think that was very enlightening, because we are, you know, to whatever degree, we already know. But if you look at a brand new person coming in, a good many of them are expressing confusion. You know, so I think
So our
that's it.
statement when they join is not clear. Our
Yeah, she
statements
was,
are not clear.
yeah, right. And just have, it was hard for her to find the rules, you know, and then she had lots of questions about that, which was fine, you know, that, but just, she was just saying, there's so much. There's
So
just so much going on.
when
How do I
people
support it?
when people come in, they're supposed to see, here's who we are, and
Mhm.
here's our guidelines, and you click next, and there's the rules.
Right. I understand that. Did that, but then all these
I
questions.
didn't have that.
So, and
I
neither
didn't.
did I, for that matter. Yeah.
I didn't have that at all. I didn't get any of what you just described, Mayanna.
And
At
how
all.
long ago did you join?
Probably a month and a half ago.
Okay, so that's probably why this has happened more recently.
I think some short video education videos would be really important, especially for the new people. And we might have to post them quite just on a regular basis, because when you go back, if you can know all, they can go to features or guides or events or whatever, that they can use those tabs. I think very few people in Facebook realize that those are tabs, you know, because
Yes.
a lot of Facebook groups do not use them.
And
Yes.
well, and that's the thing, right? You're bringing in grandmothers, and
Mhm.
not a lot of grandmothers are technology savvy, and
Right.
they have no clue. And
Right.
so you say, "Oh, go look at this tab," and they're like, "What the hell's a tab?" Excuse my French, but what the hell's a tab?
It's
You know.
true.
And so then, if
Yeah.
you can't sit there and
That's why
show them,
Sharon's video was so good on her group. Yeah.
Yes.
so that might be beneficial to just if you can share it, put it in
Beverly?
the
Oh,
group or make something like that.
yeah, we'd make it specifically for our Facebook group.
Right.
Right.
We could do one in, if we get our media in place great fast, that would be good, but we could make one just even quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beverly?
Yes,
I-
ma'am.
Yeah, look, I just wanted to say that people's attention span is quite limited. Like, the more that they use technology, the less their attention span is. So 2-minute videos, people will watch those. But when they have to scroll through and read a lot, their attention just disappears.
But because everything starts looking exactly the same. And
Right.
if you belong in any other groups, like I can be in this group and somebody's posted this meme, and then I go out into my personal Facebook, and I see the same meme 5 different times. And so there's nothing to draw me into going to the Global Grandmothers to go look and see what else is there. I go because I'm a moderator and I'm checking for what's there. But as a normal, before I became a moderator, I had no reason to just go into the group and go through and see what was going on unless it came up in my feed and something caught my interest.
And
So
I find a lot of people are going in, a lot of women see global grandmothers and they go, oh, I'm a grandmother, I'll join. But they actually are not looking at what the global grandmothers is about.
right.
They're
Well,
not,
and that
they're
comes
not
back to the clarity of what's there, right?
Right,
And
exactly, exactly.
they're not
Yeah, and that's the point,
connected.
that she was making, was that she was saying, well, okay, where do I look? What is it
Yeah.
about? And yet she read the mission statement, but still, what's the goal of the Facebook group? I'm new. How do I get involved? Except reading endless posts, but I'm not getting anywhere in my understanding or my motivation to move further, for that matter. That's one of the things she said. She said, yeah, I'd like to get involved, but what do I do? Because what is
Right.
this really about? So
The,
that focus is important.
yeah, that goes clear back to what I was saying about people are wanting to be guided. They're wanting direction, and we
Right.
want to be able to channel their interest into the website. That's our intention, is to channel their interest, to keep, so they're here, they're listening, they're sharing, they're doing the Facebook thing, but then to channel the wisdom and the fullness of each to the website.
Yeah, Amanda, I agree. But there's a yes, but that's coming up for me. And the yes, but is, I'm here, I'm new. I'm having to get used to all of this. Somebody's telling me about a website, but that's not my concern right now. It's what do I do here and now? What am I supposed to be absorbing here? What's it about? Go back to basics, because every day we're getting tons of new people coming in, and some leave because they're just, okay, more Facebook stuff, and that was also part of her response. What is it? What can I do?
Yeah.
So, I
Beverly?
think focus on the
And
beginning.
we can't channel them to the website because the website's not ready.
Beverly.
So
The
I
other
wouldn't-
Beverly.
sorry. You know what? It'd probably be easier if you just called me Sage. That'll be easier because I go by that too. And then that way you don't have 2 of us.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say I haven't really been present on moderating so much as I've been looking at all the ones that have been coming in. When Mayana, when you put up a list of our new members, and there have been so many young African men that I have just been banning. And I have spent a couple of hours a day just going through and doing that, because it's actually quite a large amount that is coming through every day of new people. And I just wanted to mention that maybe
Thank you.
others could do a bit of that as well.
I have
Thank
been.
you.
You've been doing that too, have you, Carol?
I have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, I
And
think
I
I
have
spent
to.
4 hours one day just deleting men. Like,
Yes, there's some Middle Eastern men as well. There's a little tab on the side of our Facebook pages that shows all of the things that are potential scam, and that's been helpful. If you've discovered that, but normally it's 4 or 5 that Facebook is caught. So that's my first order of business in the morning. Yeah.
And when I go there, I look at the pictures, because that's a good way to tell if something's coming in, and I can go to see who posted it and then go ban them.
yeah, well, I've just been going through the list that you put up of new members.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you for that. Yeah.
'cause
Is there
that's-
no algorithm or anything that we can find out about the large quantity of males?
Yeah, well,
Is there an algorithm or something?
I don't think so. Africa, the men in Africa are rising up to infiltrate in a lot of areas. And it's just like, we used to get emails from Nigeria and, oh, this person needs this. And, it went from emails to now it's on here. It's this. It's the same thing. They're just trying to get Western women that they feel are vulnerable and will give them money. And, I've been friends on Facebook with a young man from Africa who was working with an orphanage there. And I had a friend that I knew who went to Africa, to Uganda, and worked with these orphanages. And Love is the Answer was her nonprofit. And they were connected, and he had reached out and he's like, we really need this for the kids. And when I reached back to him and specifically, what is he doing? What can you connect me with some grandmothers there and let me talk to them? I come to find out he wasn't even present. He had nothing to do with it. And this has been for years that I've thought he was connected to this group. So they're good. But yeah. But I pushed and I pushed, and then I found out and I blocked.
So I know this conversation has already happened, but maybe we need to look at it again. Why are we staying public? Why don't we go private? Because that prevents people like that from coming into the group. Because yes, I know that adds more work to all of us to approve their membership. But in the long run, if we're spending hours a day deleting people, it might be a lot easier to just approve and then we have the information that you want. You can you can ask them to fill out whatever questions you want answered, where they're from, what their ideas are, whatever you want to ask. And they have to answer those questions before you approve their membership. I belong to a lot of groups, and having it private prevents you. I know I've deleted at least 3 posts since last night of the same guy posting, and I finally just blocked him because he just keeps posting. But we can't stop when it's public. You can't stop who comes in. You cannot choose. You cannot say this is an all women's group because men can join. Whereas if it's private, you can determine who comes in and who doesn't. So if we're going to keep it women only, and we're just going to keep deleting the men, we're wasting a whole lot of time going through and deleting people that we could just weed out by taking it private.
So that is, Alicia did recommend, Suzanne's daughter is Alicia, and she worked for Facebook, and she did recommend that we go private at this point.
Yeah, it would save a whole lot of time nobody would have to be sitting there deleting African men or deleting posts from somebody that just doesn't get that, hey, you're a guy, we don't want you here right now. Go to this group. And sometimes I think they just do it to be spiteful because we say they were women. But regardless, I think that that's probably the best thing. And it doesn't take that long. I mean, I know in my group, I don't require them to answer anything because most of it's by invitation only. However, and people that are in the group are still able to invite new people. So then you start getting the selective police that you want, because this friend is inviting these friends and then you can focus more on who's there versus constantly having to fight who's just joining and there's nothing we can do.
That's great, Becky. I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Suzanne?
Well, as it has it, and this is just for this circle, Alicia has been rehired by Facebook. And she said that she begins on 9/3, that she's available still to answer questions and help. So I heed her making it private highly. And so that's
I
what I
agree.
know.
Sharon?
I think we have all, what do we have? 53,000 members. And we need to structure, get the ingredients in and let the rising happen when people already want to eat bread. So we do not need to be open to everyone right now. And we know once we make it public, it remains private, it remains private. So here are 53,000 women that we are accountable to and for in keeping them not only safe, but helping structure what they want. And I think maybe that's enough for us to work with. And that means that women, they can keep coming in, but they will be curated, you know?
I think that the women who are in there now with those announcements and that change will appreciate that from us.
Carol's trying to say something and she's muted.
No,
She's
it's okay, Beverly. I'm just going, yes, yes, yes. I've been asking for that for a long time, and I'm so happy to hear that it's being considered now. It just makes the most sense overall right now in so many ways. So thank you.
So what
Okay.
questions would you ask for them to come in?
Well, what information do you want? Okay, so the one thing that we definitely know is that we want to know where they're at, right?
Mhm.
So because we had that earlier, what else do you want to know about them? That's that you can ask one question, you can ask 20 questions, you can you can ask what they feel they're going to gain from joining the group, or what do they know what our mission statement is, so we know where they're coming from when they come in. I mean, there's a million different questions that you can ask, and I believe I haven't had to set one of them up, so I'm not well versed, but I believe that you can actually put what your mission statement is and require them to read the rules and regulations, and at the bottom click yes, I've read this, before they even come in, so that you know that they actually got that.
And
And
do a
that's
gotcha. I'm a human being. Get that little button that you have to prove that you're human.
Of course, it would be nice if we could.
Does Facebook have that? Does Facebook have that option?
I don't think so. I've never seen it. I don't know.
No, I've set up several groups.
Let's ask Alicia if there is that option.
Right.
Okay. And Sharon, do you want the values group to come up with the questions? Do we just want to ask what are your values as they come in? What do you think?
No, I don't think we need to ask their values. I think that we, but hopefully we'll have a 3 statements that this is our values. Are you in alignment? Maybe that's the thing. We need more values, because I think we've got a huge compilation of values, but clear statements. This is our values in clear, short, simple. Are you in alignment?
Right.
Yeah,
Our yes or no, right?
Once we have our mission, vision, and purpose, that for the organization, that's easy to put in there. But meanwhile, until that is actually formulated, because our mission statement is not formulated yet. So do we have a separate mission statement for the Facebook group?
Well, I think I don't think it'll be too difficult, because we have some statements. They're quite long, but maybe just taking somebody wanted to condense them into like 1 or 2 statements. We have that already. They're just quite long.
Right. And, okay.
Carol?
Yeah, I have set up several groups, and this Facebook even provides possibilities. So one of them would be, have you read the rules and do you agree to them?
Yeah.
So that's key. And then it's, do you feel like you have something to bring to the mission? Because there's been a mission explanation or short one. And, you know, and what else then would you want to know? But, you know, very simple. It needs to be very simple, or people will go, "Oh, the heck with it. Yeah, no, it's too much trouble." And some people will do that. But for the most part, clarity about, you know, have you read the rules? Maybe a short list of the rules, a short statement about what we're about. And do you agree?
And what do you bring to the group?
Well, there really isn't room for that, though, Suzanne, from what
You
my
only have like
experience
4
with.
questions? Only
There's,
4?
it's just, it's about setting up short statements. So by asking what they, you know, what they bring or whatever is a lovely way to do it. But there really isn't a way to do that initially. There's,
So
as far as I know, there isn't a space for it. And it would be a good question to bring to your daughter, but I've never seen it with that much space opened for it.
So that could be included when you do your welcome and you're tagging everybody.
Mhm.
Take a moment and tell us what you envision bringing to the group.
Right.
That's,
And-
yeah,
That's a
right.
good-
Carol
yeah.
Because they're all the
Daniels.
time posting pictures of themselves, and they don't really say a whole lot, but it's, hello, this is me. So
Yes.
tell me what you're gonna, what you feel like you can contribute.
Yeah, Carol Daniels.
Yeah, I know myself. If you ask me what I could contribute, and I'm just coming into this group, and I'm not have no idea. Oh, yes, I might read the rules, and I might read that. No idea of what you're actually doing or
Mhm.
where you're going. How can I contribute to it? To me, to vet the people coming in, it's more, yeah. Are you female? Are you? Where are you from?
Okay, so I hear that we need to condense the languaging, simplify our rules and guidelines, close the group, and have a media team that will make regular posts and will provide a video of instruction for the new members.
Yes.
Did I miss something in those?
In that summary.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
I'm happy. Woo-hoo!
So time frame for this to happen.
As soon as you can.
It's yeah, it takes time to gather teams.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
if are we all here willing to consider our own editing skills to condense and coalesce the information into something easy that we could do in the next 48 hours?
A simplified form. Yeah.
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 Okay.
Does anybody want to raise their hand to help with that?
I will
I'm
try.
willing to work on the team, but I can't. I'm wordy. I'm cutting words out is hard for me. I know that.
I can
I-
print it out and look at it. I don't know if I can make a difference because I'm like you, Mayanna. I talk a lot, and when I write, I use a lot of words.
Sharon?
I can do two things. I think I have an application that we maybe could modify a bit for those who want to be on, that we want, or inviting for teams. And let me look over the statements and see if I can condense them into short statement for now, knowing that we can change them too. You know what I mean? But for right now, if we want a short statement for Facebook, website, what we're about on both places, I'll see what I can do on both of those things. Okay.
And there's a space, the about. I don't think we've edited that. That's where, Suzanne, where you've written. And
I want to just jump right out there and say, yes, it's exactly what I've got to do, but I'm in the hospital early tomorrow morning and doing a test, and I've
okay.
so, and then Thursday I'm back in the hospital. So the timing's not right for me. What
Okay.
what I can do is what I've heard this morning. The rest of today, I can type up. I can type up what I heard, like the rules and a possible introduction, and be willing to send it to you all before tomorrow.
And blessings to you and much prayer for you that
Yeah.
all goes.
Well, I really feel that when we started in the solar eclipse, that something tremendously magical happened. There was such a streak of light and vibration that I do believe in miracles, and I do believe y'all have seen just how much I've improved and how good I am. I just have to suffer through the byproducts of chemotherapy and the destruction to nervous system, and so I'm on a learning curve. But believe me, one of my big intentions for this website is health and education and living with cancer and green medicine, and I know the people on Facebook want it, and we're going to provide it. So I'm just trying to be honest with you all. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yay. I want to say yay, Susie.
Oh, so much love for each
Yeah.
one of you. Thank you. Thank us all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Mayanna, anything that I can do to help, just holler. And if I'm available, I will most definitely jump in both feet. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
me a little bit, because I'm very overcommitted right now, and my health isn't the best either. So I'm kind of moderating as best I can, but I do have the ability to make things quite succinct when necessary. So
Oh, good, good,
happy
good.
to work with you on that. Thank you.
All right. So we'll have some communication, Sharon, and you'll keep us posted what you've got. So we'll keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blessings, everyone.
thank you.
Bless-
Have a
Much
blessed
love.
day.
Bye.
Bye.